This video shows you the best way to make your first $10,000 selling on Amazon. Because where most people go wrong when they start selling on Amazon is they're trying to create their own products, they're doing their own marketing, they're buying cheap junk from sites like Alibaba and trying to resell it on Amazon for way more. But the easiest, lowest hanging fruit way to make money on Amazon is just by simply selling name brand items. So no beating around the bush here, let's just go ahead and jump into it and I'll show you the types of products that we can sell on Amazon and hopefully find a bunch of winners along the way, right? So where do we want to even start looking for products to sell on Amazon in the first place? A great place to start is big website sales. Like today, I noticed there is a big sale going on Nike.com, for example. And then since we've got Mother's Day coming up as well, there's going to be a ton of sales coming up. Father's Day, Memorial Day, back to school, 4th of July, all that type of stuff is going to make massive opportunities for coupons like this to start popping up, where we can see, I think Nike has a 20% sale on all women's items. So let's just go ahead and dive into the women's sale items here and we'll start finding some products. So looking at this page here, it looks like we've got about 1,400 items that we could potentially sell on Amazon, but there's some quick tricks that we'll dive into to show you how to find the items that are going to be actually good way faster. First things I'm going to be doing, typically when you're sourcing, you only want to be sourcing at the absolute lowest cost that's ever possible, right? It makes total sense that the lower the price you can buy it for, the more profit you're going to be making in the long run. And so on these items, I'm probably only going to open up the ones where it also has that 20% off code. Some of them do, some of them don't. And so I definitely want to focus on the ones that I know I can get super cheap. Or if I start seeing any of these that have a really big percent discount, we might be able to check those out as well. Let's just go ahead and start open up some listings here. And we'll see which of these are on Amazon. And let's just go ahead and start with these. So what we're looking for on these listings is whether or not we can find the exact same item on Amazon for about twice the cost that we can pay for it, right? After we factor in all of our discounts here, we got a coupon here. We've also got, it looks like 13% cash back or 10% cash back today. So that's a nice big bonus as well. And we want to make sure that we're buying these items for about half what we can sell them for, right? So the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and hit the SellerAmp button up here in the top right. This is the first paid product research tool that you'll need to start finding stuff to sell on Amazon. And in this example, when I pull that title there, we can see we found, looks like the size 11.5 is off on its own here. It is a 1.7 million sales rank. So that tells me that it is probably not the fastest seller in the world, specifically just this color though. I do see this version right here looks very similar to those. So we just want to start opening up these listings here and seeing if we can find any that are cheap enough basically, right? And I'm also just doing a quick check to see which of these colors have coupons and all that good stuff. Let's see. It's also usually a good idea to check like the more basic styles. So this is pretty classic style there. It says we want to see our price in bags. So let's go ahead and check that out. So this example here, it looks like we're buying those for $72. Ideally, we'll start seeing much bigger discounts on some of these items here, but we can still do a quick dive in here because all we're looking for on this item is to see if there are any super expensive specific colors or sizes that we can sell for way more on Amazon. So what I want to do here is go down to Keepa. This is the other paid product research tool that you'll want to sell on Amazon. This is also $20 a month. And down here on like the variations chart, I want to go ahead and just filter by the highest new current price. So all these different colors and sizes, a lot of those I think we have on the website right now. The most expensive we have is $125. So at $125, we need to be paying about $72 to be profitable. Let's see if this size is in stock. It looks like it actually is here. So we want to check those out for sure. So those are size 5.5. They're selling for 125 right now. Down here on the new offer count, I can see a good amount of sellers hopping in and off of this listing. So that shows me that this item is probably actually selling at least a little bit. I doubt it's the fastest seller in the world just because it is decently expensive. Probably not a super popular color on this listing, but we do have them in stock over here. So these right here, yeah, we've got all the sizes in stock. We're buying them for $73 plus we have a 20% coupon. So $73 times 0.80 because we have 20% off. We're buying these for $58. We're going to sell them for, that seems a little high. I guess right now our competition's at 135. We can see some sales happening back here at 129 though, 129 right there. So that's a 75% ROI. I think worst case, if you really just had to lower your prices for whatever reason, it just wasn't selling, you could literally lower your prices by $40 here to encourage some sales and you're still making $19 in profit on this item. So this one looks pretty good. What we want to do to see if this size is popular at all is go ahead and check the variations down here on SellerAmp. So we can press check and that's going to start pulling some of these reviews to see how many times people actually buy this color. Let's see, color right there. What we're looking for is the pearl white. Yeah, so it's the least popular color on this variation. And we can also see size wise how popular are 5.5s. Not very popular at all. I'm not seeing any reviews left for them, so definitely not the fastest seller, but this is still something you could probably test a couple units of, 3 to 5 units of, especially since the ROI was so good at our current price. You have so much wiggle room, it's worth taking a risk to me. Something like this was a size 6. So let's see, was the size 6 any more popular? That would be a good thing to look for. Yeah, so the size 6 is way more popular. So that's 10% of the sales on this listing are estimated to be going to the size 6, and then a little bit of the sales are going to this color. So that size 6 probably sells even better than that 5.5 here. We can also check and see, here's like an all black one. Not sure if we have that one. There's also like an all white one there. We do have that one to see price in bag. So I'm going to assume it's probably 72 bucks. And if it is profitable, then we'll look a little bit deeper. But if it's not, then there's no reason to dig and see if that's our real price, if we can get a coupon, that kind of thing. So 72 bucks right there. So at the current price, we would be making some money. So it's 128 bucks right there. Seems like the price is also hopping down to 120. So if we're at 120, it's a little bit less profitable, especially than I like to be looking at women's shoes here. There's also, it says it's like a size 40. So people are going to be probably a little bit confused on European sizing versus American there. So I'd probably skip something like that. There's also more of these pearl shoes right here. So you can see these are going anywhere from 100 bucks to 110 or so. Let's see, if we sell it for just like 100, we were buying those for 58. Again, that's a little bit thin on the ROI there. So this is the price on the size 7 and size 9.5. Those are going to be more popular, and they also have a couple ratings. So these probably sell even better than those other ones we looked at. If we sell them for, like right now, the current price is 104. So that could make them pretty interesting. So $21 profit, that might be worth the risk to me. And then that one's up at 113. We could make some sales. That's a $30 profit. So these two other sizes here of those pearl, I'd probably buy 5 units of each of those. And on each of those, you're making $100 to $150 on those 5 units. So not too bad, right? We're a few minutes into the recording here. We've made, I'd say, probably $300 to $400 profit. So let's see if we can find any more gems. I'm looking at these other items here, right? So I hope you can see the process, right? So all we need is Keepa, SellerAmp. We're going to use SellerAmp to find the listings as fast as possible. We're going to do it on this one right away. We can see here's some of those that look very similar. It's also a good idea to open up all the possible listings for the product. You never know when one listing might way better pricing somewhere else and vice versa, right? So I see, like, for example, here's the Court Vision Low. That's the exact same shoe. Here's a Sports Flat. It's calling it a different thing, but it's a completely different listing. And sometimes you'll see the same color on different listings, and one of them sells for way more. So that's why it's so important to use this little like SellerAmp lookup trick here, find all the different possible listings that it could be on, and then go from there, versus using like an automated sourcing software, one of those, like, you're going to miss all the best products. So that's why kind of the manual method, doing the legwork that other people are not willing to do, is really going to pay off. So digging through here, I also want to see which of these colors are also on sale. So I see like the blue and then this greenish one. So we might not have too much to look at here, but we can do a quick check. And this is going to be a good example where, since we know the two colors, we have this white one and then we also have this malachite one, we can actually just go down here to variations, go to color, and then just paste that color name. So I grabbed that from right there and I paste it down here on the variations chart. Now that's just going to show me all of the different sizes of that color. And let's see. So like the most expensive size is the 5.5. If we are selling these for 110 right there, what are we buying these for? We're buying them for 65 plus a 20% off code. So 65 times 0.80. So this one would be profitable. That's a size 5. No ratings though. So probably not the fastest seller in the world. ROI is not quite as good as that other one where it was maybe worth taking a risk. Typically, I like to see at least like a rating or two if I'm going to pull the trigger and buy something. So our most expensive variation that actually has some ratings going on, so it might actually be some sales. That one has a price of $97. So 97 bucks. I actually like these. 42% ROI. Couple, like, one rating here. This one's got 2 recent ratings as well. Let's see. So that one's at 80 bucks. Probably don't want to sell that. This one up here at anywhere from 96 to 110 recently. This is just basically like that new price chart here. So I might pull the trigger on another 5 units of these 6.5s here. And so yeah, just for the sake of profit example here, if we buy 5 units of those, we're making another 100 bucks, maybe closer to 80 after you factor in shipping. And if the price drops at all or anything like that on you, always a good idea to be thinking about that kind of stuff. So after that, I think they got a little bit too cheap for that variation, but now we can check this other color right here. So let's go down here to variations. We're just gonna do the same thing, right? Except this time I want to see all the sizes for this other like greenish color. And this one also we're buying way cheaper. The problem is I don't see any ratings happening for this color at all. So we'd really need to be profitable. And I can show you a trick to see if there are real sales happening as well. So let's see, like the size 8, we didn't have any ratings, but the price has been pretty good. The profit is there. So let's do a quick check and see if there is actually sales. This one's the same story. Was it like 83 bucks? So if we're buying for 83, yeah, we're making 21 bucks profit. So we would want to look at both of these. And instead of looking at the variations chart, that's what we've been looking at. We can look at a couple things, right? So new offer count. If I see a bunch of sellers hopping in and off the listing, that shows me that people are getting in, selling out, and new people are hopping on and selling out on their listing. I don't see a ton of that here. I do do see some sellers hopping in and out here, so those could be sales. But I also want to check the data offers tab down here. And this is going to show me like the real stock count and price of different items over time. So for example, like right here, I can see that there was an FBA seller who was priced at $90 and they had 4 in stock. And somewhere between March 19th-ish and April 19th, over basically the course of a month, they sold 4 pairs of this shoe because they went from 4 in stock down to 0. And I don't really see much else beyond that proves sales. So we could take a risk there. If you're like a newer seller, you're just trying to get the ball rolling, buy a couple units of that, see if it sells. I personally probably wouldn't buy that one. Sells a little bit slow for my taste. We can do the same thing on this size 6.5 here though. So data offers, include historical. And then when we do that, I can see a little bit more evidence of some sales happening here. So I can see them going 432. I can see this seller going 432 right there. So they're making sales. Here's an FBA seller who made a sale. So this one's selling a little bit faster. Based on this, I might actually think about placing a test order of maybe 5 units here, mostly just because our ROI is so solid. If this was like 35% ROI or closer to that kind of minimum that you typically like to look for me, that minimum is about 35% ROI. And so the closer it is to that, the less risks you want to take basically. Something like this, so you could probably buy 5 units of. You'd probably sell over the course of a month if I had to guess, and there's another $100 in profit for you. So that is probably all the profitable items we're going to find on that particular listing. We can also do a quick check though. Like I was saying, sometimes you'll find much better listings on completely different product pages. I'm not seeing any like that green or blue that we were looking at though. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any of that on this listing either. So that's totally cool. So yeah, we can keep on chugging along here, see what else we can find. And by the way, if you want to see even more product research sauce that we don't put anywhere on YouTube, it's some really high powered strategies, plus a full step-by-step guide to scaling your Amazon business to $10,000 a month. Make sure you get registered for the next free class that we do. The link is down below for these. Super fun. They're about 2 hours, plus we do some Q&A, some structured presentation. And this is our best free 2 hours of content. So even if it's after April 24th when you're watching this video, check the link down below and you'll be able to register for the next free Amazon masterclass. So these Pegasus 40s right here, I want to see which of these we get on sale. Okay, so a couple different versions here. Also, don't underestimate like the weird versions of these products. On this, I was noticing extra wides are on sale. Those can be really solid when you are selling on Amazon. It's like the more specific stuff, like the harder to find type products tend to be really good, just because a lot of times you have to buy it online to get like the right thing for some people. So let's start diving in here. A lot of times as I'm opening up this menu here, I'm looking for the BSR to be under about 150,000. I'm wondering if the Pegasus 40 is a little bit too new to have a lot of Amazon presence, because I see the 39 is right there. It's fairly popular, but I'm not seeing any big super popular listings for the 40s yet. This is probably it, to be honest. Decent amount of sales split between all these different sizes and everything though. So we'll do a quick check here, go down to variations and see if we have any expensive, at least maybe a couple ratings on any of these expensive variations too. Let's see, like 116 is the highest price of a variation that has any ratings. A good way to quickly check and see which specific types of shoes on these listings are actually selling. I'm also seeing like this coconut milk one that we had. I think it was like earish. Yeah. So we did have that one, but they're just not quite cheap enough. We're going to be buying these for $80. Prices over here are like 120, $100, that kind of thing. So there's not a lot of meat left on the bones there. We can go ahead and check out this listing here. So these XCs, I'm not seeing too many coupons. I only see a coupon on this specific size here. This is a great example of showing you how to use another trick that I like to use, which is a Google image search. So all I do is I right click that product and then I press search image with Google. And then it's going to show me a bunch of other sites where, number one, a bunch of other sites where I could potentially find it and source it. So if you're worried that you might not have the cheapest cost before you pull the trigger on something, try this out, see if there's a different site that it can take you to. But I'm also looking for the Amazon.com listing here. If there's a perfect product picture match, it'll take me to that listing. And in this example, I'm just not seeing it, which doesn't surprise me. Typically, especially with like shoes and stuff, the more classic styles like the black and whites, the blues, the grays, all that kind of stuff is going to sell really well, versus this that's kind of got some funky coloring going on. I would say a little bit, it's not standard. And then yeah, let's see if we can find anything here. So we've got some like weightlifting shoes or something here, and we're going to plug these in and see what listings we got for them. So the Essential 2 right there could be on that listing. I think that might be the men's listing, but we'll still see if the Amazon listings may be a little messed up, and I'm not seeing any other pictures of them. So let's see. Size wise, yes, this is a bit of a weird listing. I think women's big kid running shoe, these got lost on this listing. So it doesn't mean you can't sell it. It just means that it might sell a little bit slower than if the listing was like correct. Let's see if we even have any of those colors though. So I think we have these, or I guess the check mark's a little bit different here. Maybe try our Google image hack here. Let's pop that open, search image with Google, especially when it's a very like distinct style of shoe. It'll help you find it, and bang, here we go. So we found the image for these shoes, and I actually love this as an example because they are currently out of stock. Let's see. This page is also a little bit weird though. So let me do some digging. We'll see if we can find the actual page here. So I did a quick little trick here to find this listing. I think this is actually a great example of something that is currently out of stock on Amazon, but might have some potential to sell. So what you want to do, if you ever run into something like this, I don't know if I've ever come across this on a video, but it's a really good example. Grab the ASIN from the top of the URL up there. And then we want to go over to just like the Keepa website, or we could probably also use like the SellerAmp website. Just go ahead and enter that in there. And then it shows me all of the different variations and stuff. So I think some of these maybe are completely not for sale on Amazon right now, but if we check out like the ratings, we can see that a couple of them actually have sold in the past. There's also just something a little bit weird about the listing. I'm not exactly sure why like the product facing side was not working, but all these are decently expensive. This has 4 ratings, so it has sold. It was at $98 on this size 8.5 here. So we were buying these for 55 bucks with a 20% off coupon. So if we're selling them for 98 bucks and we're buying them for 45, that's a really good ROI. It follows that rule of halves by a lot. So I'd imagine we're making about a 60 to 70% ROI on that. Since it's like a weird listing, it's not in stock right now, it's tough to calculate our fees on there, but since it follows that rule so well, we'd definitely be making some money here. And you're buying the type of item that we had to do a little bit of legwork to actually find. It's not for sale on Amazon right now, and so we could be the only guy making money on that listing for a second, I believe. You buy 5 or 10 units of that, have a really solid ROI, and there's some more winning products, right? We could also look through some of these variations here. This one also has some ratings there, and it's at recently like $105. New price right there is at 98, so it would also be profitable. So yeah, there's some more gems that we found there. We could probably estimate another, conservatively, just because the listing is like a little bit weird here, probably another $200 to $300 in profit. But I really hope you guys got a ton of value out of this video. Now you understand how to go and find winning products. You know what winning products look like. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop those down below in the comment section. Also, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff helps me out with the YouTube algorithm if you want to help me out for sharing some value with your business. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you next time.